In example 4, we are still going to use the elimination method to solve a system, but then we have one extra step that we're going to be looking at. It says if negative 4x minus 5y equals 15 and 2y plus 5x is equal to 11, what is 3x minus y? So what we're looking to do is evaluate this expression, and this will take place at the very end, because in order to solve or evaluate this expression, we need to know what x and y are. So we can solve for x and y using our two equations that we have before this. Let's set up our system in a way we're used to looking at it. So I'm going to rewrite it. I have negative 4x minus 5y equal to 15, and that's the first equation. Then I'm going to write the second equation underneath it. But as I write that second equation, I want to make sure my x's and my y's and my constant all line up. So I'm going to rearrange the order of my 2y and my 5x. I'm going to put the 5x first, then my 2y equal to 11. And then from here, I'm going to go through and I'm going to solve using the elimination method. If I look at my coefficients in front of my x's, they are not opposites, and neither are my coefficients in front of my y's. I'm looking at my smaller x coefficient, which is 4. There's really no nice number to multiply 4 by to get 5. So let's check the y's. There's really no nice number to multiply 2 by to get 5. So now I'm going to need to multiply both equations. So if we multiply both equations, I'm just going to eliminate that first variable, that x. And to do that, I'm going to take the number in front here, and I'm going to multiply it on the top. So I'm going to multiply the first equation by 5. And then I'm going to take the coefficient of my x, not the negative sign, just the coefficient by itself, the number, that 4, and I'm going to multiply the bottom equation by that 4. Then I'm going to determine whether I need any of these to be negatives. Well, since my coefficients right now are opposites, that's how I want them. So I'm going to leave both of these positive. And if I rewrite this after multiplying, 5 times negative 4x will give me negative 20x. 5 times negative 5y will give me negative 25y. 5 times 15 will give me 75. And then I'm going to go through and multiply the bottom by 4. 4 times 5x will give me 20x. 4 times 2y gives me 8y. And 4 times 11 will give me 44. Then I double check, do I have opposite coefficients? And I do. So now I know I can go ahead and add these two together. Negative 20x plus 20x is 0, so these two are going to cancel out. Negative 25y plus 8y will give me negative 17y. And 75 plus 44 will give me 119. Then to solve for y, I need to divide both sides by negative 17. And I get an answer that y is equal to negative 7. Once I know what y is, I need to go ahead and solve for x. I can plug into either the top or the bottom equation in order to solve. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plug it into this bottom equation here, the 5x plus 2y equal to 11. And I get 5 times x, which I don't know what x is yet, plus 2 times my y value, which is negative 7, and that's equal to 11. Next, I need to multiply the 2 and the negative 7, which will give me negative 14. So I have 5x minus 14 equal to 11. Then I can add 14 over to the other side, and I get 5x equal to 25. And finally, I can divide both sides by 5, and I get x equals 5. At this point, I'm going to go through my check step, and I would do it right on the calculator. So take your calculators out, do negative 4 times 5, minus 5 times negative 7, and then hit enter. You should see that you get 15, which tells us that the first equation does work. Then I would check the bottom equation. Do 5 times 5 plus 2 times negative 7. Make sure you get 11. Once you make sure that it works for both, then we can go to our very last step, which is to evaluate the 3x minus y. So we want to know what is 3x minus y. All we're doing now is plugging in the x value we found for x and plugging in the y value we found for y. So we have 3 times 5 minus -7. So I plugged in my x value for the x, and I plugged in my y value for the y. Everything else stays the same. We still have the 3, we still have the subtraction sign. So this will become 15 plus 7, which is 22. So my final answer is 22. If you have questions about this, let me know.